Hello there. I am back again to finish off this second part of my awakening. It's what I refer to as my awakening. Other people might have different opinions or views on it, but you know, this is definitely my awakening for me. So I'm gonna try not to say as much, because I didn't even know that I was doing that, and then I watched back that one video last night and I'm just like, oh gosh, please stop saying that, and I kept saying it. So yeah, this is all new to me, so I've never done anything like this before, but you know, here it is. So yeah, I left off at my dog, thanking my dog, which is a Chihuahua and Blue Heeler mix named Abby. I thought that she was a dragon. I have no idea where that thought came from. Completely sober. You know, I just woke up, so it wasn't exhaustion or anything like that. I just, you know, thought she was a dragon. And oh yeah, and I did want to mention, and I probably should have put this before, but before, like about a week before, like after there was something about after I had done that last bit of stuff, yeah, there was a little over a week where I was sober, and I would be sitting there and my ears just started popping, and it felt they would pop and they would crack. It was like a crackling and then ringing. I mean, and it hurt so bad that it felt like, you know, an ear infection. It felt like an ear infection. And I was like, I think I'm gonna need to go to the doctor or something, because it really hurt. It felt like an ice pick in my ear, and I was like, are y'all's ears popping? And I kept tugging at them, and it really felt like I was on a plane. And it did that for about a week before all of this started happening, actually. So anyway, yeah, back to this story. Yeah, my memory gets pretty fuzzy, but it's hard to tell like the linear time, like what exactly happened, but this is just kind of when, you know, what I remember. It was like it was like my consciousness was in and out of my body. It almost felt like my soul was there and not there and there, and I don't know how that works, but that's what it seemed like, because my memory just was, I mean, it was just craziness. But so at some point after, and this is really the next thing I remember that stood out, is I kept feeling, there's some dogs barking over there, but well, I might need to see what's going on over there. What's going on over here? What? Is the kitty cat over there bothering you? Okay, chill out. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on over there. She's just gonna have to keep barking. But yeah, so anyway, sorry about that. Okay, so I kept feeling dirty. Like I was like, oh gosh, and sticky, and just like, oh, I'm like, I gotta go take a shower. I mean, I felt like a dirty dog or something, and I'm like, okay, I gotta shower. And I would be in the shower, and I'm cleaning, and then at one point, I remember getting out of the shower, and I just felt really bad. I mean, I had a real bad like body image, and I'd gained a lot of weight, but from what I was used to, and so you know, I had some body image issues, and I remember I looked in the mirror. I had a towel around me, and I looked in the mirror, and my pupils were completely normal. I remember I'm completely sober here, and then my pupils just went and dilated, like, you know, really big, and I was going, and then I started like panting, like, I don't know, like if I guess I just felt hot or something, but I just started panting like an animal. And I was just like, and then it was like almost like like a vault, I don't know how else to describe it, opened up above my head. And then I felt it's hard to explain, but I guess you could say, like, I felt a presence straight above me. That's why it's kind of easy to say now that it might have been my higher self, my eternal self, my soul. I don't know. It could have been a guide. I'm not sure. But I felt a lion being, a feline person, a black feline person above me. And when I look back on it now, I mean, I do remember seeing a lion being, and that, you know, because I have this vision in my head, and all of a sudden I was thinking, I'm a cat. And I had that thought in my head that I was a cat, and this being was telling me, you're a cat. And I don't think that, you know, there's a little bit of, I think there's a little static on that channel there or something, because I was under the impression that this being was telling me, you're gonna die. And I took it to a bad place because I didn't understand. I was freaking out. And they were like, you know, I heard you're gonna die, and your consciousness is gonna be moved into a house cat. And I thought, because my friend that I was staying with had a bunch of cats over there, and I thought I was gonna die, and then I would be stuck in the body of this house cat, and looking around and going, hey, it's me, inside my head, and nobody would know. They would just be like, oh, it's the cat. Why is the cat acting weird? Or whatever. And that terrified me. I was like, no, I don't want to be a cat. I don't want to be a cat. And I understood. I was taking it like, you're a cat. You better be okay with that, you know, and be, yeah, you're a cat. But so that was what I was under the impression that this being was telling me. You know, it makes more sense now, but at the time, I didn't know anything. I was reading the Bible. You know, I didn't know anything about feline beings. I'd never heard of them before. I mean, I, you know, heard of like fairy tales and things like that, but I'd never heard of Lyra or, you know, anything like that. Lemuria. Yeah, so I thought, okay, I better prove to this being that I'm okay with being who I am. Because I thought that since I had that negative impression of myself being in this body, that they were gonna punish me. I was gonna be punished. I guess that's what, you know, religion really does to you, is, you know, well, you know, the Christian religion, it you know, you're not good enough, you're gonna be punished, you know, for your sins. So I thought that that's what, you know, I was being bad by having that thought of my body. So I was like, okay, what can I do? And so I threw my towel down and I ran out the door, out the bathroom door, through the hallway where all the bedrooms are, through the den. People are standing there, and I'm butt naked, and I run out the backyard, into the backyard, and I put my hands up like this, and I'm like looking up. Is this okay? Is this good? This proves it. And I felt like this whoosh of relief. I just felt a sudden relief come over me, and I had this thought of like people that, you know, saw the light and were saved through religion, and, you know, I was like, oh, thank goodness that's over, because that was scary. And I had that feeling like, okay, you know, this is done. But that was not done. That was just the beginning. And my friend was like, Carrie, you know, let me get you a towel, you know, because I was just standing there. I wasn't going to move because I wanted this to be done. And I'm like, okay, I'm a cat. I'll be a cat. I'll be me. I'll be whatever, you know, whatever I need to be, you know, just don't kill me and don't kill my kid. So, yeah. And then my memory kind of goes a little fuzzy. And then I remember I wouldn't really eat. I wasn't really hungry. At one point, my friend tried to bring me a plate of potatoes and something, and I was like, I did remember asking, is this meat? Because I ate meat before, but that's really the first time I was like, I don't want to eat meat. Don't, you know. And they were like, no, that's potatoes. And I ate a couple of bites of potatoes, and I didn't really want to eat. But then I think it might have been the next day, it might have been 2 days later, I remember sitting there very calmly in the backyard, looking down, and I was sitting Indian style, and I was looking down, and it was like all of a sudden, because I just remember it so vivid. It was like I woke up there, and I told my friend, I said, don't let me freeze again. Yeah, I kept saying it, and I had this thought of me being made of stone and sitting really still. I'm made of stone, so of course I'm gonna be still, but I was at the bottom of an ocean, and I was waiting at the bottom of an ocean, just frozen. So I kept saying that, and I don't know where that thought came from. This was all foreign to me. I did at some point, I received a text message from a random number saying, and I didn't notice this until like later, after I think after I got out of the hospital, which I did go to the hospital. I received a text message that said, turn the lights off and go to sleep, in Spanish. During this, I think it was about the 4th day, because I had so much energy, I just couldn't sleep. But that did say that in Spanish, and I looked at the phone, and I'm like, what is this? And I looked at what it meant, and yeah, it said turn the lights off and go to sleep. So that was strange. I kept seeing crosses everywhere, which made me think that I was related to some, Christ, or I was Christ-like. It made me feel really strange, like I was powerful. I thought that I had superpowers and that I could heal people's vision. And I took my friend's glasses and broke them. I took them off. I was like, let me see your glasses. And I took them, and I just went snap. And that cost him he said, ended up spending a good $400, I think, on that. I took my contacts out of my eyes, and remember, I had just got these contacts, and I flushed them down the toilet because I thought that I would be able to see better without them. So that happened. I did, I did have this weird feeling like in the back of my neck, on the top of my head, and there's a music video. Well, goodness. There's a music video by Florence and the Machine. It's called Delilah. And if you watch this video, there's 2 women. She's doing it. Florence is doing it, and there's a black lady that's doing it. They're doing like this, and like this, over and over. You really have to watch it to see what they're doing. But it was kind of like they're like, oh my God, and that's what I kept doing. And I had not seen this video at the time that this happened. So I was like, what in the world? So if you watch that, that's what I kept doing, and I just kept doing like this, like an itching, and I felt like a fire on the top of my head. So which is a symptom of Kundalini energy. And it's also a symptom of, from what I understand, soul walk-in, soul braid, or something like that, which, I'm not going to go into that here. I don't know enough about that, but, it's a symptom of that as well, from what I understand. The TV was off. I was seeing stuff in the TV. I saw Yoda. For some reason, I saw Yoda, and the world, it was like the whole universe was just spinning in that TV, and I just would watch it like it was on, like I was interested. And I also saw visions of what looked like two towers, the twin towers, and smoke coming up. And I thought that it was just, it was strange. I don't know why I was seeing that. The smoke was just rising, and it was like the souls were trying to get up past the smoke to heaven, maybe. I don't know. I thought that my daughter was in her consciousness, was in a cat, this little black kitten that was there, and I thought it was a ninja kitten. I thought that her consciousness was in my dog, and I told my dog that, it's time. I was joking, I was playing around trying to be cute, but I had just completely, I don't know what came over me, but I actually said, get up, it's time to get ready for school, to my dog. Yeah, I kept thinking that I was related to people. Like, I thought, I don't know, I just thought people were other people. I don't know what that, I didn't know why I was thinking that. I know that we've probably all had lots of lives, lots of different experiences in different lifetimes, so maybe that's why, leave that cat alone. Maybe that's why soul groups and soul families, I don't, I had no idea about any of that either. It's hard to even describe what a soul is when you don't remember, when you come here, you don't remember anything. So, yeah. And my friend didn't know what to do. He had no idea. This stuff kept happening and happening. There's other little things that I remember. It was the scariest thing that I've ever experienced. The scariest thing, because I kept thinking that my daughter was on, ouch, the cat climbed on me. There he is. It's Mr. Max Kitty. Hopefully he doesn't jump on my back. He didn't know what to do, and I don't really blame him. I can't blame him for putting me in the hospital, because we didn't know anything. I had no idea about anything to do with Kundalini. I didn't know anything to do with, why this energy was just all of a sudden there, and I didn't know what to do with it. It just really freaked me out. The thoughts that I was having, it was just like everything turned upside down. Everything. So they decided to take me to the hospital, and I remember walking into the hospital. I knew where I was. I remember this, and I thought that I was famous. I thought that people were watching me. I just felt something watching me this whole time. I felt something outside of me that was watching. And I know that sounds like paranoia and this and that, and this is just, you know, some schizophrenic crap, but people need to look into what schizophrenia really is. Things aren't always what they seem to be. And once people open their minds up to that kind of idea, then, you know, things will be a lot better, because the culture in Western society views this kind of stuff as an illness. And if you go to, you know, the Eastern culture, the shamans, if I had a shaman there, shaman, however you pronounce it, I'm from Texas, so I say shaman. Stop it, kitty. Then they, you know, it's a blessing. It's the birth of a healer, because you're starting to see into other realms. You're starting to see what's really there, and you know, the powers that were didn't want people waking up. They don't want us to be awake. I mean, Western, us over here, and I hate to be, so I don't mean to be negative about it. It is what it is, but I mean, you can't just pop a bunch of pills and make your thoughts go away. It doesn't work. So I remember I went into the hospital and they asked me, what's my social, and the lady that was there, I thought that she was my sister. She had red hair, and I was like, that's my sister. And I knew it didn't look like my sister, but that was my sister. So she asked me what my social security number was. I told her 1, 2 boobies. I just, you know, at that point, I very well could have just been like lack of sleep. It had been 8 days. And my friend was just bawling. I was like, why is he crying? What's going on? And then I know that they tranquilized me about, must have been at least 10 times, and forced medicine down me. And what the medicine does is it closes that channel to the other realms. It closes the line of communication. So they ended up, you know, and I barely remember the first 2 weeks at the hospital. I barely remember. I don't remember anything of the first 2 weeks. Apparently my friend John came to see me, and I said something to him that his grandmother used to say. His grandmother had passed, and it was his grandmother's crucifix that he choked towards me, you know, at the beginning of all of this. And I said something about my Johnny, and I said it just like her. And he was like, what? And I say, you know, and he told me this, and I was like, no, I didn't. You know, what the hell are you talking about? But yeah, and I've tried to say it, even when I say it just now, Johnny, no, he would say, no, that's not how it sounded. And I can't do it again. I mean, I can't. It was like almost like there was spirit there. There was something there trying to align with me, and I was just, you know. And then the medicine, from what I understand, and I've read articles about this, the shamanic view of mental illness, and I think the guy's name is Jason Gaddis or something. I'll try to find the link and post that article. But when you take this medicine, it causes these fuses to snap in your head, and because the energy is trying to align, there's messages apparently trying to come through from the other side. And you know, I was put on so many different drugs. I was taking, I mean, they tranquilized me and forced them down me, you know. I was there for a total of 6 weeks. Excuse me. And I really just thought that something was wrong with me, you know. And I of course you do, whenever, you know, this happens, and you just get label. It's real easy to put some labels on something whenever it seems out of the norm. But I was put on Depakote, I was put on Zyprexa, I was put on Vistaril. I found a picture last night I'll try to put a link somehow to that picture. I don't know if I can, but it was my hand, and it was about 7 or 8 pills in my hand that they gave me to take. And, you know, I don't take that now. I don't. I refuse to take it now. I ended up, and I'm going to do a video on this too, because when I got out of the hospital, I was on these medicines, and this started happening again. I mean, and it got so bad that I OD'd on these pills. I took 2.5 bottles of pills, and I actually died for 5 minutes. So, don't take the pill. I wouldn't recommend getting on the pills. They don't help. They never did. And it got so bad. The Vistaril was so bad, I couldn't even walk up the stairs. I was like, I'm surprised I didn't snap my knees trying to walk up the stairs. But this video is getting kind of long too. But so there that is. Yeah, and when my friend even came, and I don't remember this either, but that day that I said that Johnny thing, he brought books for me, and I was like, fuck, started throwing his books at him, and I don't even know. The first thing I remember is I woke up, and I went into the day room, and I had these this paper suit on. And I go in there, and they came and got me, so I had a phone call, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, hello? It was my sister, Sherry, my half-sister. And she, you know, was like, I love you, and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, well, I love you too. I'm here in the loony bin. So there's that. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. If this resonates with any of you, anybody out there, then let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer to the best of my ability. So this was 2 years ago that this happened. Yeah. So, okay. Well, I guess I'm done. Have a good night.